Before the start of this video, please do not send any hate to Purpzuki. Prior to my problematic interactions with her, I had a lot of respect for her not only as a creator, but as a person as well. And I still do to this day greatly appreciate her for accepting me into the first OTOT event, even if circumstances weren't great, and even if I didn't make the most out of the opportunity. The first negative interaction we had was on October 16th while in a VC. While I don't have any recordings of the situation, I can tell my side of the story from what I remember happening. From what I can recall, we were having a conversation about heroes in Overwatch while in a VC in her Discord server with some of her community members. I said something along the lines of, in a joking tone, that I didn't like Lifeweaver or Mercy, and since then my stance has changed on Lifeweaver. I think he's a great hero and has amazing utility. As of today, I assume the way I spoke about Mercy and Lifeweaver may have not landed the way I intended, because she proceeded to say something along the lines of, "D, I have a problem with how you speak about Mercy and Lifeweaver, and I feel like it stems from misogyny and homophobia." I don't remember my exact response, but knowing myself, it probably didn't come off as respectfully as it should have. Not because I wanted to be dismissive, but because I felt caught off guard and genuinely disrespected by how it was framed. From what I remember, my response was along the lines of that anyone can play those heroes, and that my dislike came from how those heroes were often played in my elo, not from anything personal or targeted. After that exchange, I DM'd her the next day. "Hey Holly, how are you? I have no problems with someone pointing out my character and how I carry myself isn't appropriate. But the next time something I say isn't appropriate, can you please pull me off to the side and talk about it rather than going on about it in a group of people? Not for the fact of how it will make me look around those people, but how it could possibly ruin someone's mood." Yeah, I was considering sending a message to apologize for bringing it up in front of everyone. I wasn't having that kind of talk in my own server and had a rough night, so I pushed it in the wrong space. Sorry. You're perfectly fine. I have no problems with someone pointing out something like that. I try to be accommodating for everyone. After that DM, I interacted much less. Sometimes I would pop into her stream, and it felt like to me that there was some type of passive aggression in the way I was addressed. Whether intentional or not, that's how it came across to me. So I chose to respect her space and distance myself rather than escalating anything. Before Thanksgiving, I was feeling very conflicted and introspective about the situation. I genuinely questioned whether I had done something that caused discomfort or resentment, so I DM'd her on the 21st with the intention of clearing the air and understanding where the disconnect was between us. "Hey Purpzuki, I have the feeling that you probably don't want to hear from me, but if you had the time, I'd like to have a conversation. I feel like there's some type of ill will between the two of us, and the last thing I want as a person and as a content creator is to have enemies or even people who dislike me for some type of reason. I appreciate what you've done in the past, especially with OTOT, and while I didn't capitalize off the opportunity given to me, I still had a wonderful time. In my culture and religion, I was raised to be welcoming of all and to never spread hate, and my intention isn't to be disrespectful to anyone or any group of people. I understand if you ignore this message, but it would be nice to at least get this misunderstanding situated. Hi, D. I'm not sure where this is coming from all of a sudden, but I want you to understand that I choose to invest my energy, time, friendships, etc. into folks who show consistently strong and similar morals to mine and don't get comfortable making jokes that could easily be interpreted as hatred. Your content and your interactions with myself and my community have shown that you don't necessarily resonate or synergize in that regard. I don't and will not speak ill of you unless friends approach me with their own previously existing concerns, in which only then do I speak from my experiences. Otherwise, your name does not leave my mouth, and I will leave you to do your own thing in peace. I appreciate you saying that you would leave me to my devices, and I understand not wanting to surround yourself with people you don't consider like minded. But if that's the case, why would you ever think about inviting me to your creator event? If my morals never match what you consider appropriate, why would you be friendly to me before OTOT and extend an invitation for me to join? I have never hidden how I present myself on the internet, and if you did the research you said you did, I should have never been a part of this event. This could have all been avoided if you just had given me the same energy you've been shown me more recently from the start. Because we didn't see any issues before OTOT. I had 400 applicants in 48 spots, so obviously I'm not going to be able to do a full deep sweep and read through every person's morals. You've shown us since participating via VCs, being in Twitch chats, in your own content since. While that is understandable and dealing with that many applicants can be overwhelming, I never actually hid this personality you deem so problematic. And I have always been very open about who I am. Not only that, but just because you and your group might not like the way I joke doesn't mean you or anyone else has the right to mistreat me, especially when I am not intending any disrespect to any group. I am quite welcoming of all. If my personality was a problem for you or anyone else, as I said in the past, you could have pulled me aside or simply blocked or banned me from your community. Instead of handling the situation properly, you chose not to, and instead met my personality with offhanded remarks and passive aggression. But it seems like this is clearly going nowhere because you're deflecting the issue and just making it about me after I've tried to show you nothing but respect. I've decided not only to leave, but also stay away from your group, and I only hope that you do the same for me. I wish you nothing but success in your life and your content creation journey. Calling anything mistreatment is a wild accusation. The last thing I personally ever did was call you out back in September, which was addressed in the DMs above. I never have gone out of my way to disrespect you and have only chosen not to engage with you based on my own perception of you. One thing I want to clarify is there's a difference between who I completely block out of my community and people who I personally find problematic enough to avoid. There are some people who make us uncomfortable, and I kept my distance from them, i.e., making a slight joke here and there that may have undertones of misogyny, racism, ableism, etc., or maybe slipped a slur. But the only ones I feel the need to directly block from my community are the ones who break direct rules of the server or show potential safety concerns, i.e., self harmers, stalkers, open bigots, pedophiles, or something of similar severity. The whole purpose of OTOT was to connect with other creators, and most people participated in VC bonding activities outside of the main event, i.e., Among Us and just talking to each other. You decided to hang out and occupy the mods instead of getting involved in these bonding activities. Even after your troubleshooting was finished, you cannot pin this on me for your lack of networking and interactions. The event didn't exist solely for me to find the perfect, unproblematic people to become friends with. You should have tried to make friends on your own instead of relying solely on mine and my mod's attention for some reason. I wish you luck on your journey, but I have only made the active decision to avoid you as an internet personality. You have potential, and I know a lot of people will enjoy your content. It's just not the vibe I'm invested in. By the end of our conversation, it felt pointless trying to fix something that clearly was too far gone. It no longer felt like we were even talking about the original issue that brought me there in the first place. While yes, I didn't interact with other creators during OTOT, that was my choice and something I fully own. I reached out to her specifically because I believed that as adults, it would be appropriate to talk directly and try to understand why there was tension. From my perspective, I felt consistently misunderstood and at times dismissed during our interactions, and I was only looking for clarity, not conflict. Instead, it felt like the conversation kept shifting away from mutual understanding and towards assigning fault, which made it difficult to feel heard. At that point, I accepted that continuing the conversation wasn't going to lead anywhere productive, so I chose to disengage. For a while, I held a lot of resentment towards Purpzuki, and I won't pretend otherwise. I went through what honestly felt like stages of grief: confusion, frustration, anger, and eventually acceptance. At one point, I wanted to make a video immediately, but I stopped myself because I knew I was coming from a place of hurt rather than clarity. Enough time has passed now for me to talk about this without that anger driving the narrative. This video isn't about tearing her down or sending hate her way. It's about sharing my experiences, honestly. Acknowledging where things broke down and closing this chapter that weighed on me longer than it should have.